Morning. Good morning. If you can call it good, and if you can call it morning. Is it morning or is it rejoice? If you knew that you would have your manifestation no matter what, if you knew that no matter what the 3D physical world shows you, it's an illusion and it's a fucking time warp, wouldn't you be happy knowing that you already won the battle? There is no battle. There is no 3D to look at. I'm going to get a little choked up here because I'm really just talking to myself right now. If you knew and really stood on that, stood on the knowing that no matter what you do, you can't mess up your manifestation, wouldn't you be able to be detached from any result that shows you otherwise? You know, when I first started my manifestation journey, I just started to find out what the law of assumption really was, the law of attraction, law of assumption. Basically, learning the laws of the universe. Taking time off from a 9 to 5, being in my car, even living in a shelter at one point. It's like you have really got to put the kingdom of God ahead of the kingdom of materiality, the kingdom of this 3D world, like the kingdom of God, which is your imagination. God is your imagination. Your imagination is God. So you have to have time to study the laws of the universe. In order to know it intricately, in order to know the zeros and the ones of the matrix, in order to see the binary code as Neo in the matrix, and to hack that shit with your mind, you have to be able to know that you're the operant power of it all. Which means the more you focus on something, the more it grows. If you focus on the pain that someone's causing you, the more it grows. If you focus on the joy that someone brings you, the more it grows. If you focus on that feeling of satiation and comfort and feeling whole within yourself, that is all that can grow. So the real question is, why would you, as God of your reality, and look, I'm talking to myself, honey, for real, why would we look at the 3D results that have already been a culmination of our shit thoughts from the past? It's really just shit thoughts from the past. The last 2 to 3 days, 2 to 3 weeks, 2 to 3 months. Really all it is a culmination of bad thinking, bad beliefs, bad behaviors, and low vibrations that we, up to this point, have convinced ourselves was all that exists. So now if you've changed your projections, your trajectory in life, you've changed who you are as a person, you've changed what you stand for, you've changed how do you see the world, and you've changed how you're going to expect the world to show up for you, why then would you look at any bullshit in the 3D and take it as gospel? What am I talking about? Sunny, I am talking about manifestation. I am talking about manifesting things into your physical world that you want to manifest, that you want to materialize. Manifestation, I teach the law of assumption. So I don't teach the law of attraction because it never really worked for me. Like, studying the law of attraction was useful and helpful, but it's like the law of gravity. I don't need to fucking focus on it to know that that shit works. I just have to focus on what I know I need to focus on. And so for me, the law of assumption is the basics. The tenet of law of assumption is what you assume to be true is true. That's it. That is a law. That is a spiritual law. What you assume to be true is true. Now, that goes for everything. That goes for how high the gas prices are. You assume that to be true. That goes for the way that this door swings open. You assume it opens this way. You assume that your mom will call you tomorrow. You assume that there's a million assumptions you make every single day. Okay? And once you've changed those assumptions in your mind, and it is quite easy to do. It is as easy to do as just saying, oh, okay, now I assume the door can go the other way. I assume my mom won't call me tomorrow. Maybe she's busy at work. I assume that gas went down 20 cents because I read it in a newspaper article. You know what I mean? So you can change your assumptions very quickly, okay? But once you do change your assumptions very quickly, especially about a person, and in my instance, it's a very interpersonal relationship that I'm dealing with that I have to work on. Once you do change how you view that person, you are now responsible to yourself for seeing the changed version of them consistently. Not looking what the 3D says, because the 3D can suck my big toe. The 3D is a fucking liar. The devil owns this world. The devil is not real. It's just that the illusion of the fact that your reality is real is what is the lie. The great deception in the Bible, in my opinion, is really believing the 3D matrix as real. It's not real. It's as real as your dreams. If your dreams, you can feel something, sense something, smell something. Isn't that real? Why then would it not be the same case in your 3D, just as real or visceral, right? Some people tell me I'm crazy for believing in my imagination and only in my imagination. But I have seen so many brutal, tyrannical, egotistical, cruel men change. My own father was a drill instructor in the Army and abused me every single day for my entire childhood. And that man has changed so much, so drastically, gone to God, changed his life because I assumed that he would. I assumed that whatever I view in my imagination has to come to fruition. I started to assume that he could change, and he did. That man has gone to God. And I do also believe that even Gordon can go to God. I believe that Augustine can go to God. I believe you can go to God. I believe everyone inherently wants to be good. Really, you could call me naive, you can call me stupid and dumb, I don't care what you call me. But I would love to believe that men hate being tyrannical. They hate being abusive. They do not like the way that we view them in that light. Don't you want to be seen as the highest version of yourself? Don't you wish people would see you as kind and generous and giving and appreciate what you've done? We owe it to ourselves as conscious creators of our reality to change the view, the lens that we see someone. We owe it to ourselves. That is the self-discipline. That is the work. There is no one to change but self. You're not changing someone outside of you because it's simply a reflection. It is simply a mirror. You're not changing them by barking orders at them, telling them, this hurts me, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. That's not how you change anybody. You go within, you go into your imagination, you go into the 4D, the fourth dimension, and you bring heaven to earth. As above, so below. Whatever culminates up there is going to come down into the 3D. For a lot of us, it's been real shit thoughts up there. So the 3D has to reflect the shit thoughts. Case in point, right now, a lot of you, though you've changed your mind and you're all about like New Year's resolutions, and you're all about healing, and you're all about high vibrations. You're seeing the 3D doesn't change immediately like that for a lot of you. Instant manifestation is real. Very real. Very, 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 very fucking real. And if you wanted instant manifestation all day, every day, there's nothing stopping you. You could have that. You should be having that, in fact. In fact, I would say that should be our main focus and our goal in life, is to have that discipline and determination to have instant manifestation. That really should be it. But, and I will say this, it's difficult to want instant manifestation when you have shit thoughts, right? Because, you know, we'll just be manifesting a whole bunch of shit crazily in the blink of an eye, and that's not good either, right? So I'm actually kind of grateful that down here in the 3D plane of existence, it's very dense, okay? I'm glad that there's a little bit of a delay. I'm glad that it's not super fast, because I just thought of a pink elephant. Do I fucking want a pink elephant in my room? No. Right? If I had Johnny Depp, because I just thought of him right now in this room, I wouldn't know what to do with him, right? So I'm glad that we have 70,000 thoughts in a day, and they don't all get to be materialized instantly. I'm grateful for that. That's why it feels so good to be alive in the 3D. In the world, not of it, right? In the world, not of it. Be here in the matrix, but not of it. See it for what it is. Detach from it and see that it is but a reflection of your mind. And it has always been a reflection of your mind. It's just up to this point, you didn't control your mind, which is fine. Someone else did. Your mom, your pastor, a religious indoctrination, the government, schooling, whatever. Someone else did. So pull your energy back, give it back to yourself, take a real fucking hard look. Not at the 3D. You don't have to stare at the 3D. You don't have to be afraid of it either, though. You don't have to be afraid of the reality that's been painted in front of you. You simply have to acknowledge that that is real and say, okay, while that's real, I also know there's an infinite other number of versions of realities that are also real. All I have to do is focus on that long enough, and that too will replace this reality. It will kind of just drop down. Like it will just layer on top of this one. And before you know it, it will just be like it never happened. So the real question is, if we are gods of our reality, why do we allow the 3D reality to control so much of our power? Really? You know, and I think what it is we just fall in and out of consciousness sometimes. Like we take the blue pill every once in a while, in the Matrix, Neo would take a red pill to wake up and the blue pill would have kept him asleep. Sometimes we just, it feels better. It feels better to take the blue pill. It does. Ignore your surroundings, close your eyes, play dumb, go blind. It does. It feels better until the fuck you wake up. Yeah? And then you wake up and you see that everyone around you is a tyrant. There's nothing in your bank account, no food in your fridge, and everybody in your family's sick or something, and that is what the blue pill represents: death, sleep, slumber, you not being in charge of your own thoughts. And while the red pill doesn't immediately give you the results of betterment, sometimes that shit hurts. Sometimes taking the red pill does not get you an instant manifestation. Sometimes the red pill tells you to go to a fucking therapist for 10 years before you start instant manifesting. Or it could be that the red pill wakes you up to the truth that your boyfriend's an abuser, or your mom is actually jealous of you, or something. Or it wakes you up to the truth of why you're losing so much money every month. The red pill does not always equate to happiness. It will eventually get you there because the truth shall set you free, but it does not always equate to happiness. So why then are we so eager to take the blue pill? Why then are we so excited and so willing to look at the 3D results in our immediate environment, right? In our right here, right now. Look at it and be like, okay, this is it. The fuck it is. The fuck it is. This is not your forever. This is the world, and you are not of it. You are the creator. You are the one that is selecting the creation that your higher self, the creator, has already created for you. There is already an infinite source that has created all timelines, all realities, all versions of anything. And it is your responsibility as Christ. It is your responsibility as Jesus. It is your responsibility as Neo to select the version that the creator has already created. All you have to do is select it. Manifestation is not you trying to create something. Manifestation is you trying to select a version that you like and try to stay there as often as possible. Now, you're manifesting all the time, 24/7, every single second of the day. My love, you are manifesting. And honey, you have been doing that shit since the day you were incarnated on this godforsaken trash heap of a planet. You have been always manifesting, and that is not going to change now. The only thing that is going to change now is you are consciously doing it on your own merit, on your own free will, and on your own desires that were placed there by your higher self, aka God, aka you. Your desires have been placed there on your heart because of you, for you to enjoy, and the only fucking life purpose you really truly have on this planet is to accept your desires, and that's it. It's not to go save 8 billion people. Nah, honey. It's for you to save your damn self by accepting and acknowledging that you have higher will, a higher divine purpose of love and excitement, and that satiation of, wow, I can have this. Let me reside in knowing I have $6 million to my name. Let me be in that feeling of, wow, my soulmate and I are married and we're walking down the beach right now after our wedding. Get in that feeling of knowing you already have it and claiming that one consistently. That is all your responsibility is as a conscious creator. Your purpose here is to enjoy life. Your purpose now is to hack this matrix for yourself, by yourself, in order to free yourself from the fucking matrix that you created for yourself in the first place. You did it, boo. There's no one but you. When you get that, when you truly, truly understand that, that's when you can be freed from it. So why then do we get so carried away with looking at the 3D results that have only culminated because of shit thoughts that we've had up to this point, right? And even if you wake up today and you change something and you're like, yeah, okay, here's the thing. Now my soulmate loves me. He doesn't ignore me anymore. He doesn't ghost me. Nah, now we are married. We are married. We are married. And that's where you stay and that's where you reside. But it doesn't change automatically in the 3D. But congratulations, you've just taken the red pill. You have just consciously decided as a creator to change your reality. Bitch, wait a minute, because that stuff takes a little bit of time sometimes. It's not always instant for everybody. I've been at this a while and it's not instant for me all the time. Sometimes it is, and it shocks the shit out of me how fast it can be. But that's if I have zero resistance. How often have you convinced yourself that your soulmate doesn't want anything to do with you? Well, go change that assumption. Go change that belief first, okay? Before you complain and say the law doesn't work. The law of assumption always works. You're assuming it doesn't work, so fuck, that's what's going to happen. It's not going to work. Why do we look at the 3D physical reality and take it as gospel? It is one version of an infinite number of versions of realities where you can have your heaven on earth if you wanted it. If you wanted it. But we're going to have to assume you don't want it. That's why the 3D keeps playing out the same bullshit. We're going to have to assume that you don't want it because you keep speaking all the negative over your life, all the death over your life instead of the positivity. So we're going to have to assume that you don't want better because you don't fucking speak better. Right? You don't think better thoughts. You don't think higher thoughts. You don't flip your thoughts from, oh, but he never calls me, to, wow, this man's blowing up my phone and he won't leave me alone. I can't believe the change in this man in 2.2 seconds. You don't think like that. So that's why your reality doesn't show that. Now, for me, Gordon has already changed because my mindset about Gordon has already changed. Gordon and I are already talking. We are already still talking. Some people don't like this. I don't care what you like. I'm creating my world for myself. I know that I created a shit version of Gordon to come in as a very abusive, rude, uncouth tyrant. I also know that there is an infinite number of realities where he is the magician, he's kind, sensitive, a mentor, a leader, a healer. I choose to focus on that and only that. And when that shows up for me in my physical 3D reality, I will accept it as truth because I know I manifested that shit. Just like I will accept as truth that I created an abuser. You know what I'm saying? As an unconscious creator. A lot of people don't like what I have to say. Very controversial topic. Abuse is a very thin line. You don't normally talk about abuse, but you have seen me for 5 years as a vlogger on YouTube talking about my journey up to this point. You have seen me leave so many abusive people because why? Because I'm a goddess and I don't deserve to be treated like anything less than a goddess. But I also realize that when I leave, shifts start happening. They go through massive change. I also know that I am manifesting a brand new element in my life, which is always better. It's always better. Something is always better coming in. Why? Because I grow, I ascend, which means that the mirror of reality has to change the second I say it does. So if you jump ship from one thing to another and you're concerned that like the next thing isn't going to be better, honey, it's going to be better because you are better. You are the thing animating the mirror. You're it. You're literally the movie screen, and you're also the film roll, and you're also the projector. You're all of it. You're the one putting in a new slide so that you can see something new on the frame, right? So for anybody who has any ill will or ill intentions or rude comments towards me about still talking to Gordon, here's the thing. I have deduced down that Gordon is my twin flame, and that is the truth. Even just last night, I woke up out of a dead sleep, and this is God's honest truth. This was the craziest shit ever. I woke up out of a dead sleep, and I went to the kitchen, and I got some Oreos, and I put them with peanut butter, and I started eating them. Like, I was missing him, and I don't know why. I just ate my feelings, and I went to go get a cookie and some peanut butter, and you will not believe. I texted him, and I said, wow, I don't know why, but I just really wanted some cookies. And he texted me back that he was eating cookies with peanut butter at that very fucking moment. Instant manifestation. Instant manifestation for a girl who believes in magic. Instant manifestation for me because I believe that I am worthy of seeing God's miracles. I am worthy of seeing this 3D matrix wow me. I have never eaten cookies with peanut butter. That is like, I don't even do that. And he told me, he's like, I normally don't even do that either. So we were eating the same thing at the same moment. So if anyone has an issue with my relationship with Gordon, I completely understand. And I really would not even fault you for feeling that way, because you guys have just witnessed in physical time, you have just witnessed a very bad situation take place with me, and you love me, and I know that that hurts you. But you also have to understand that I own my responsibility as a conscious creator of my reality. I also understand this is a video game. It is a simulation, and time does not exist. So while you think it's only been 3 or 4 days, for me, he's already gone to God. He's already had an ego death, and he's already showing up differently in my reality. Now, this is why I tell you, I am not the type to sit here and condone abuse, violence, being ghosted, breadcrumbed. Fuck that. Fuck that. You get what you want because you're God. Okay? Fuck that. You don't want breadcrumbs? Then stop thinking your person's coming in with breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbing you, love bombing you. So while I know that in linear time, it appears just recently I was treated poorly, linear time does not exist for me anymore. Linear time is irrelevant, and it does not fucking matter. It is all about the frequency, and it's all about how often you switch thoughts from, oh, he's such a douchebag, to, wow, I can't believe this guy is worshiping the ground I walk on. Wow, I can't believe I'm a goddess. Wow, I can't believe he tells me all this. Wow, I can't believe I'm top priority. Wow. It was even weird. I was going to call him. I had like 5 minutes to call him, and he was on the phone with his friend, but he dropped his friend. And I mean, I feel bad about that, but he was like, okay, let me hang up this phone, and I'm calling you right now. I've never been chosen. I've never been wanted. I've never been the first priority ever in my life with anyone ever. No one's ever dropped shit for me before. So for that to happen, it was like an awe-inspiring moment of like, holy fuck, I think I'm literally manifesting heaven on earth. Now, some people may have problems with it. That's okay. You still believe linear time is a thing. You still believe that the pain I experienced even just a few days ago is relevant. It's not. It's redundant. I don't experience pain the same way that most do. I've already gone to God. I had my near-death experience in 2019. I've been on my spiritual journey for 13 years. I had a Kundalini awakening 13 years ago. Time does not exist in the way it does for most people, for me. Okay? So while, yes, I know a lot of your concern, and I'm glad that you are, I love you, and I thank you. And I also know that that concern comes from the fact that you too have been abused at some time in your life. So have I. I was abused every day by a military drill instructor. My ex-husband was very abusive for 8.5 years. I've had one of my ex-boyfriends point a gun at my head. There is no shortage of abuse that has taken place in my life as a woman. Every single type of abuse has happened to me. I am not the type to sit here condoning that behavior to any of the women that I guide. It is not okay. And not only is it not okay, I have proven that it's not okay by leaving every single shit situation in order to fight for me. Because that is how much I love myself, and that is how much I love you, and that is how much I love the Most High God. Right? So when I say that someone is capable of change. I have to believe that. I couldn't even take your money as a manifestation coach if I did not believe that it was fucking possible to have someone go from the dictator to perfect aligned soulmate that you're going to marry. I could not sit here and blow smoke up your ass every single day if I did not believe a man could change in an instant, in the blink of an eye. If I did not believe that, I would be a real shit manifestation coach, wouldn't I? So to anyone who has an issue with whom I choose to love in my lifetime, I'm sorry, sweet cheeks, but you're going to have to really focus on your own life and not so much what somebody else is choosing to do. Okay? If you want to make your own, platform and come at me 100 miles a minute, I would love that. I gratefully would love to be challenged on my positions, but this right now is my life, and these are my teachings, and this is what I've learned along my path. I'm not preaching Sammy Ingram. I'm not preaching Neville Goddard. I'm not preaching any of the other coaches. I am telling you what I do in my life and how I, up to this point, have been blessed by the divine, which is also myself, because I stay in alignment with truth. I stay in alignment with what is right. And in this instance today, the real question is, why are we going to allow our 3D to dictate what we believe is truth and what we believe we have to live with, what we have to settle with? Fuck that. We don't have to settle at all. We are telling the 3D matrix what to do, not the other way around. We're making this our bitch, not the other way around. Okay? We're getting chewed up and spit out because so many people are concerned about what they see right in front of their face because they refuse to go in their imagination and change that shit. Most of you, no offense, are low vibrational enough that you don't even have an imagination. You have not made yourself like children to enter the kingdom of God. Children have imaginations. Children are innocent. Children are playful. And in the Bible it says, to enter the kingdom of heaven, you have got to be like these little children. Innocent, able to love, imaginative. And if you don't have that, you need to sit your ass down and realize that you're holding on to a lot of guilt, shame, anger, bitterness, resentment. It's lowering your vibration, and it will not allow you to see authentically in your imagination. Okay? If you're having that issue, you can't get into the imaginative act. Like, you can't actually change in your imagination what you're seeing in the 3D physical world. I highly suggest just affirming instead. Just saying, I have this, I have this, I have this, until mental images start coming up in your mind automatically. Okay? So if you do have an issue with imagination, which a lot of you do, start just by affirming the thing that you want, repeatedly saying it repetitively, consistently. I have $1 million. I have $1 million. I have $1 million. You don't have to have any emotion behind it. It has nothing like that. You are just, what you're trying to do is get your subconscious to show you, even in a small little vision, what $1 million would look like, what it would feel like, how it would better your life, right? You got to start somewhere. If you don't have an open imagination, it's not very active, it's okay. This world took that away from us. We can get it back. You can get it back by raising your vibration. You can get it back by being in alignment with your truest self. You can get it back by living in authenticity and living in love. But consistently, day in, day out, repeating the same affirmation for a while is definitely the way to go to reprogram your mind, right? To create new neural pathways to get you to now believe that it is possible to have $1 million. It doesn't start out right away. If you get this new desire today and it's like, I want to be a millionaire. Okay. But your family was poor, your great-grandfather. Okay. So now what are you going to do? Because you've been programmed for a really long time to believe that there is nothing but poverty. While it can change, and you will be that rags to riches story, you have got to reprogram your mind. You have to change the neural pathway in your mind. So for those of you who do not have imaginations right now, and it's okay, we live in a dense planet. We live in a very dense 3D environment. If you can't see the higher realms, like me as a psychic and a lot of psychics here, if you can't do that, that's okay. You can consistently repeat over and over and over again, I have $1 million, I have $1 million. It feels so good to have $1 million. Until you do start to believe it. You will eventually start to believe it. It is inevitable, okay? But today's message really, why do we believe that we are gods of our reality. And we'll sit here and talk about it and tell everybody like, yeah, I'm God. I'm God though. Are you, bitch? Are you? Because the God self declares I am God. Your ego self is the one that like says it with wavering, like, oh, but I'm God. I'm God. For all the wrong reasons anyway. For all the wrong reasons, just to act powerful. But your real true God self, the I am presence that is you, is the one saying, I am rich. I am a millionaire. I am a millionaire right the fuck right now. I am a millionaire. I am a millionaire. Wow. How does that feel? If it were true right now, how would it feel to you? If you were to open your bank account app right now and look at $1 million+ in your bank account, how would it feel right the fuck now? And most of you can't get to that feeling because you haven't rewired your mind yet to believe that that reality is even conceivable. So for those of you who do not have active imaginations, it's okay. You can technically force your way into heaven by constantly affirming repetitively throughout the day that you have the desire that you already want. Okay? So I would start there for most of you. But what I am saying with the 3D physical, this is simply a reflection. It is a culmination of all the shit thoughts you've had for the last several years. Horrible assumptions that even your family put on you. Curses. Curses are nothing more than subconscious blockages. Curses, they're not even subconscious blockages. They're just assumed beliefs that you took on because you were repeated them enough times in school, in church, and at your dad's house. They're just consistent thoughts that you've thought over and over and over again until it's become a curse because you can't get out of it. The reason you can't get out of it is because you haven't worked hard enough to change and rewire your mind to believe that another reality exists. So for those of you who have issues with the fact that I'm already talking to Gordon, and happily doing so, that is a you problem. I believe in infinite timelines. I believe that the shit reality I created in the 3D where he was really, really cruel existed because me as God allowed my thoughts to go along the lines of, wow, he's so mean. Like, he doesn't even let me do anything. Oh my God, he never calls me, he never texts me, he never blah, 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 blah. I don't care. Those shit thoughts got eradicated in 2024. Those shit thoughts have been leaving. So now my 3D is changing, it's conforming, and I'm seeing a higher version of him, which honestly, quite honestly, is the sexiest thing I've ever seen in my entire goddamn life. And I want to see everyone's higher self this way. So all I have to do is consistently stay in that knowing that everyone has a higher self, everyone has a different version, and they don't have to come in as anything less than God anymore. No one shows up in my reality. Not one soul will show up in my reality any longer unless they are aligned with the way I want to see them. If I want to see them as a tyrant, they'll show up as a tyrant. If I want to see them as a narcissist, they'll show up that way. If I want to see them as their higher self, a mentor, a leader, an instructor, generous, kind, they will show up that way. It is all about what we are focusing on. If I were to listen to a lot of you, I would never talk to that guy again. Thank God it's not up to you because your life isn't my life. You're God of your reality. You're not God of my reality, right? I'm, of course, controversial in doing things that are quite controversial. I make an entire living throwing tarot cards. Girl, my entire fucking life is controversial. So I get it. I get a lot of flack for it, and I'm here for it. I'm an Aries. I was ready for this shit. But the point is, when I believe, and I sit here and I coach you guys, and I tell you literally there are no limits. The universe is infinite. Infinite realities. Infinite realities. I can't sit here blowing smoke up your ass, taking your hard-earned dollars, and not, with a clean conscience, also believe that my ex can change as well. Both of them. I'm actually living at one of my ex's houses right now. I'm literally filming this right now at my ex-boyfriend's house, who came to get me in a different state from a homeless shelter. To feed me, to give me internet, to have heat in the house, to sleep in a warm bed. You can't tell me that there's not an infinite version of realities for your person. You can't. I'm living fucking proof that it is possible. So a lot of you get that resistance from people in the 3D. Oh, you shouldn't have that. You shouldn't want that. Why? God told you can have that. You know how I know God told you? Because you fucking imagined it, girl. It was in your imagination, aka God. That was a desire of your higher self. You would not have a desire to have your ex-boyfriend if it was not there placed by your higher self, period. Period. You would not have that desire to be a millionaire even though your family lives a very poor life if it was not there placed on your heart by God, period. You, God, period. It wouldn't even be there if your higher intelligence, your higher source, you, did not tell you, hey, honey, listen, there's another version of them. They're rich, they're kind, they're generous. They're not like some fuckboy, and they're not some scrub, okay? Your higher self tells you that shit because God is you and you are God. You're telling yourself that it's a possibility. So why are we listening to the 3D reality when it says shit like, oh, he didn't call me for my birthday though. Oh, but like I saw him on Instagram and he was like hanging out with that model and was like, what the fuck? Why are you listening to that though? Aren't you God? You're either God or you're not. It is literally that easy. Either you're God or the 3D matrix is your God. Who are you worshiping? Are you idolizing the 3D? Looking at the physical reality for what it is and being like, yes, yes, master. Fucking yes, master. Or are you going in your imagination, you're changing that shit and you're claiming it because you are God and that's it. I say what I say, I mean what I mean, and that's it. Right? The I am presence is you. You are God, the I am. But you are what? I am what? Most of you are like, I am poor. I am scared. I am not sure if this will work. Okay, God, let me hand you more and more and more experiences where you are powerless. I am that bad bitch. I am a goddess. I am respected. I am adored. I am rich. I am happy. I am safe. I am protected. I am that bad bitch. How often do you change your thoughts from that powerlessness? And this is why I'm saying there's no one to change but self. You really are the only one that needs to change. You don't bark orders at your man. Why? That version of them is already here. That version of them sucks. You're not telling this version anything. You're going into your imagination and you're selecting a new version of your man who listens to you. He's attentive. He holds you. He cuddles you. Kisses you on the forehead. You're going to that version. And you're seeing that version consistently. Okay? You don't understand the concept of the common good also. Who's to say I don't understand the concept of the common good? The common good is for me to love me so much that it overwhelmingly becomes so overpowering that other people start to fucking love their own authenticity and themselves that much. The common good is not to be self-sacrificial. The common good is not to become a doormat or a martyr. You are not here to save 8 billion people on the planet. You're here to save yourself, and by association, everyone is saved. The Bible says, by one man, all is cursed, and by one man, all are redeemed. I think it says redeemed. You are that one man. You are that Christ. You are it. You're really, truly it. So there is no, oh, well, if only my mom would change. No, if you would change how your mom shows up, then your mom would be changed. Okay? So it really is up to us at this point. While there is a 3D that is showing you, glaring in your face, something that you don't want to see, are you able to instead go into your imagination quite readily and easily and say something like, yeah, that used to be my reality. It used to be like that. Thank you, universe, for showing me that it used to be like that, but I don't accept that anymore. I used to, and I used to think that that had to be it, but it's not anymore, and that's okay. I choose this version instead. Looking at your bank account, you open your bank account and there's like 10 cents there. Wow, remember when it used to be that bad? I know that it used to be okay for me to handle stuff like that, but I don't handle that like that now. I choose to see that there's $1 million in my account, and that's it, right? But how consistently are you going from those shit thoughts to those more positive thoughts? It's all up to you. When I say you're God, that's what I mean. It's all up to you. You want to live in a shit life, do so. You want to have better, do so. It really is you. You're not barking orders at some person outside of you. That's like going up to the movie screen and trying to punch the movie screen and be like, oh my God, change. I don't like this scene. Change. That is stupid. You go up into the film roll, you put a new film roll in, and then boom, you witness a change on the screen of time, in the video game itself, in the simulation itself. Okay? We have to realize this is a matrix we built for ourselves. You're not necessarily crashing the matrix. You're more hacking it to start working in your favor. It's not really like getting rid of anything when everybody's like, oh, it's the end of days and it's the end of times. It's not really that. It's not like the simulation is going away in its entirety. It's just that now you get to consciously decide what you have in it, right? So again, what I want you to focus on today is, why are we so convinced that the 3D that's showing you something right the fuck here and now, why are you so convinced that that's truth? Really, who convinced you that's true? Your eyeballs did. That's it. But if you can go back into your imagination, completely rewrite the story, there is nothing left but a higher version of whatever it is you're seeing currently. Because you love yourself so much, you refuse to see anything different, right? That person, you refuse to see the lower version, so you go into the higher self. You see their higher self. Your bank account, you refuse to see the 10 cents, so you put $1 million back in there in your imagination. What is I haven't been able to ever figure out a way to say this concept, and I'm hoping I can today because I'm really on it. Without caffeine, like, my mind's pretty on it today. But the way I want to conceptualize this is you looking at the 3D, like opening your bank account right now, right? And say you see 10 cents in there. That basically has replaced your imagination. You have looked at the 3D and it has become your imagination. It's an image that has been imagined. You're now putting that in your subconscious. Thank you so much for the donation, my love. I really appreciate that. Thank you. So I don't know how to conceptualize. I think I did it pretty well, actually. You're replacing your imagination. You're replacing God with the devil. The 3D, the lie is the devil. The lie is that this is real. It's not real. And it is an illusion. And so if you can instead go back into your imagination and there in your imagination see the bank account say something different. That's the only thing you have to do. You have to see the bank account different in your imagination. And if you can do that, then congratulations, you just gave your power from the devil back to God, back to you. You know what I mean? It is now that you are God. You are God, you are sovereign. You have been sovereign. You have sovereignly been giving your power over away to a bank app that says 10 cents. And that has replaced your imagination. That has become your imagination. You just imagined it. Wow, it's right there and you just imagined it. So if your life is not perfect yet, then you're not done. Once your 3D represents a huge change that is positive, it will just snowball, honey, because once you see it, it's going to keep coming in and keep coming in and keep coming in, and there's no stopping it, right? But it's the imagining it part first that a lot of you fail to do. And again, for those of you who have a tough time with imagination, I would highly suggest just affirming over and over and over to get your mind in a more believable state. Like, it's believed that it could be possible. You could have $1 million. You see what I'm saying? You got this, Luna. This year is for growth. Absolutely. Action is also required. That's a good point. Who tells you to take action? Who tells you that action is necessary? Oh, wait, because most of you don't know. You don't know who told you that action is necessary. You learned it. We learned that we have to struggle. We learned that we have to impress the 3D or somehow give our energy to the matrix itself, like give it to the reflection. exert some sort of power and energy to receive something back. Who convinced you of that, though? Did you read it in a book somewhere? Because you should be attracting, not forcing, attracting something better to come in. You should be attracting by not chasing, you don't have to fucking lift a finger, girl. You do to even have money. You do not even have to have a job. Technically speaking, this is your matrix, this is your reality. You're the one that thinks the only way to receive money is through a 9-to-5. That's your deal. So then you're going to be exerting a lot of energy, 40 to 50 hours a week, don't you think? To maybe barely make it anyway. Exerting a lot of energy to receive pennies back. That is not how it should be. That is not how it has to be. It is only that way because you have convinced yourself that it is that way. Do you see what I'm saying? I never said that. We live in a material world where action is not necessary. A dude in a coma, he doesn't have to exert physical action. I'm sure that you'll clarify what you mean by action then, but he's laying there. Does he not still deserve the provisions of the divine? Air in his lungs, a feeding tube. Does he not still deserve to be blessed by this system? And he's not doing anything. He's not exerting energy at all. He still receives love. He still receives oxygen. His blood still pumps for him. He does not have to exert any physical action at all. So whoever convinced you of that, we're going to have to really, really look at why you believe it. Okay? I love your hair. Thank you. Girl, I haven't even washed it today. Thanks, my love. Why limit ourselves and our own limitations? Not this year. Absolutely. Lulu. Girl, you know what I would love to see? I'd love to see you change your username from Lulu to Lulu the Delulu, because Delulu, living in Delulu land, living in delusion is really where it's at. And I know, and I've been called so many times a schizophrenic because I live in my imagination a lot. But that's also why I get crazy ass things handed to me by this system, because I live in my imagination. I do not like to see the 3D and fucking validate this shit. If I do, and I'm a human and everybody does this, I'll see it for what it is. I'm like, ugh, I hate this feeling. I hate the feeling of being told no. I hate the feeling of seeing my boyfriend's lower self. Or I hate the feeling of seeing 10 cents in my bank. I fucking hate that feeling when you know you're limitless, right? So what I will do is I'll see it. I'll be like off put by it. I can't stand it, right? I'll bitch and moan about it for a few minutes. Okay, I'm not telling you you're not going to have reactions. Of course you're going to have reactions. You're human. But I'll look at it and I'll be like, okay, that's disgusting. I don't like the way I feel. I know that I'm God, so fix this, bitch. Like, fix it. And that's exactly what I do. Every single time I go back into my imagination and I fix things. I revise that it even happened, or I just bring in something new to replace it. You don't have to always revise what happened already. Some people don't even like revising because it's too traumatic. Sometimes if you're trying to like revise a traumatic experience, it can be really, really difficult because you're afraid to see the abuse, or you're afraid to see the bank account or whatever. So sometimes revision isn't even the best technique for some people that are really traumatized. Like I won't normally push revision too much. What I will do though is consistently in my head build something new to replace that thing. So while yes, I have an argument with my boyfriend, right? I will then instead not revise the argument. I will just see an apology coming in my imagination. I'll see him holding me, kissing me, thanking me for what I said, and then moving on. So it really is up to you guys how you want to do that. Revision really does work, especially with arguments. Like that really is good if you can. But some people, they don't even want to go back to it because they makes them so angry, you know? Like, fuck him, I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to look back at it, you know? But for me, yeah, what happens is I get this icky feeling. If I look at the 3D too long and it hurts, I'm like, why? Why am I suffering? Why am I suffering? Why am I suffering? Like with Gordon and I was like, why the fuck am I allowing myself to be treated anything less like a goddess? Okay. And me leaving him was so painful for him that 2 nights ago, I was writhing in pain for 2 hours. I could not even like breathe. It was so bad because he was going through an ego death. That loss of me was so It literally made my divine masculine awaken. He is my twin flame, and so he awakened with that. So you can have your cake and eat it too. You can have the best of both worlds. You can have you leaving abusive situations to protect yourself, and also have them conform to the higher version that you know exists and that you keep saying exists. You see, you can have both. So while I am quite controversial and a lot of people don't love what I teach or whatever, it's okay. It's because I teach based on physical knowledge and the way of the world that taught me. A lot of abuse taught me. A lot of men abandoned me. And I learned how to, in the middle of a war with your boyfriend, how to manifest safety quickly. Just like that. Like the fact that I got into a homeless shelter that same night, a women's abuse shelter, they only housed 20 women total in the whole fucking city. And that was the biggest city, I think, in the state. They only housed 20 women. And at first I got rejected 2 times off their roster. They weren't even going to take the intake form for me. 3rd time's the charm because I manifested it. But I got away that day, that night by myself using my mind only. So that is what I'm saying. If you can understand that you may have created the version of them that came in as a douchebag, you did, and I'm not blaming you. I'm actually trying to empower you. I'm actually trying to help you see that you created that version and you can create a new one just instantly as well. We as creators, we have to take our power back. I would never blame an abuse victim. I would never victimize you in another way by saying it's victim shaming. Never. You suffered. You went through abuse. You really, really, truly were traumatized by your own reality. That really fucking happened. That was fucking real. This is fucking real, and that it does feel real. But you also have to know that you as God can create a brand new version of that person as well. It's as instant as you say it is. For me, one of the things that I was worried about was a lot of people not understanding the whiplash. The real quick, like, what? He was an asshole to you, and then suddenly you're talking to him and you're best friends again? I didn't think that people would understand. And it doesn't matter that people understand or not. It's my life, first of all. But it doesn't matter because most people are still stuck in the concept of linear time. I do not exist in linear time. Your thoughts do not exist in linear time. Manifestations are not logical. You have got to get out of your own way in thinking there is a time lapse for this shit. Nah, you and your boyfriend or you and your mom or you and your whoever, that shit could be remedied instantly. I mean instantaneously, because you could claim it right now and it's an instant thing. It's as instant as you say it is, right? All right, so let me just catch my bearings because that was a lot. Why do we get caught up in the 3D? I honestly think it's because it's habitual. We almost don't know how to see our person any different than they've showed up every single time. Especially when we have a problem with imagination, it's kind of difficult for us to just suddenly just see everything as like rosy, you know, especially if you've been abused like me. Like if you've been abused by your own 3D physical world shitting on you, it's hard sometimes to go right from that to, oh, but like, isn't he so nice? We went to the movies and he bought me flowers. And it's like, yeah, most people would assume that that's a love bomber situation and tell your ass to run, honey. But the real question is, are you manifesting that change? Because if you're manifesting that change, it's not love bomber, is it? It's pretty damn permanent if you're manifesting that shit consciously, isn't it? Do not let your mom convince you otherwise. Don't let your best friend convince you otherwise. It's an up to you kind of thing, honey. You are God and it's your decision. Again, I would never condone anything less than goddess treatment. Period. And you know, because you've watched my fucking channel, you've watched my journal entries all this time. I don't accept that shit, right? So therefore you go back into your imagination and you start creating a different version of them that they have to show up as. The real question is, how often are you able to go from, wow, he's being a douche, to, oh my God, he's so sweet, I can't believe he did that. How often are you able to do it? How quickly can you do it? Okay? Alchemy, transmutation, that's exactly it. I'm a very powerful transmuter. I can alchemize shit and very, very quickly. And it used to be that like I was so afraid of what my friends and family would say when I would do that, that I would just like not even really want to be happy because I was so afraid that other people's opinions could dictate whether I accept someone back or not. But what I realized in losing everything and everyone in this life, I learned that no one has power over me with their opinions, just myself. I can listen to my mom. I can take my therapist's advice. I could listen to a lot of you, but ultimately, it is my decision. It is my reality. It is my creation. It is what I want to live. Go live your own. In your reality, you can even go online and talk about how crazy I am that I live this way. It doesn't matter to me. But I had to learn that until you remove basically everyone from your life, at least in my opinion, if you don't remove people, you're never going to get to know what you want. You're always going to hear what your mom wants, what your doctor wants, what your this wants, this. And you'll never get to know what it is truly in your soul that you want. And then this is why people wonder why the fuck we're so unhappy as an entire society. Because you listen too much to your fucking mother and you need to stop, right? So how can we call back our power, take back our power? Realize that this matrix, the 3D that we're seeing, we created it that way because we may have a lot of resistance. Maybe it's really tough for us to believe that we could be millionaires overnight when our entire family was poor forever. You know, maybe there's a ton of resistance there because we've been programmed to believe that money is hard to come by, right? So chip away at it. You have to start somewhere. Start with a thought. Start with today, choosing a thought today. I'm a millionaire, and I don't care what the 3D says. I'm a millionaire. I don't care what the 3D says. I don't care if you only get to say it 2 times today, and it's clouded with a billion other thoughts that are about poverty. Start somewhere. Discipline your mind to get yourself out of that bind. I didn't mean to do it, but I love it. Discipline your mind to get yourself out of a bind. God damn, that's good. I gotta write that shit down. What else? Why? So why are we looking at the 3D like the 3D somehow controls us? That shit is not anything. It's a fucking illusion. It's a mirage. And it's all about what you focus on. So if you keep focusing on the fact that like, oh, he didn't call me today, he didn't text me today. Okay, great. There's the universe handing you more and more evidence that he's not going to call your ass. If you were focusing on how excited you'd be because he calls you and wishes you good morning, beautiful, and gives you forehead kisses every morning, then you probably wouldn't be bitching and moaning about the fact that he is abandoning you or not talking to you. You see? What are you focusing on? And really, truly, guys, that is it. What are you focusing on? Be honest with yourselves. You don't have to be honest with me. Shit, I don't give a shit. It's your life. Don't be honest with me. Be honest with your damn self. You're the one that has to live with you 24/7. You're the one that has to live in your shit reality because your thoughts are a dumping ground. Yeah. How did I get 9 new emails in 2 seconds? Like, that doesn't even make sense. Oh, thank you so much for the donation, my love. Thank you. May that bless you 1,000-fold. I thank you so, so much. Wow. I don't even think that's for reading. I think that's just for you being amazing. Thank you. Thank you, my love. Oh, bless you. Bless you. I choose to receive $1 billion. It will give me freedom to choose. 100%. But don't you realize you already have the freedom to choose right now in this present moment? You just chose the $1 billion in your imagination by speaking it out loud. You just chose. Money doesn't give you freedom to choose. You give you freedom to choose. You see? Just for you. Peaceful Priestess, thank you so much. I love that. It will give me freedom to choose. No, Christ gives you freedom to choose. Your higher self, the Christ itself, gives you power to choose. And that is it. Because your ego is not going to give you power to do anything. Your ego is not going to give you power to choose shit. Your ego chooses for you. The only one that can make the choice is the higher self. Money doesn't do that shit for you. Your higher self is the thing that tells money what to do with itself. You make money your bitch, not the other way around. The freedom to choose comes when you say you're free to choose. Not when you have a bigger bank account, not when you've lost 30 pounds, not when you have better friends, not when you live in a bigger house. You have the power to choose the second you fucking say so as God. Do you understand? Money exists just for us, period. Money, there is more money on this planet than people. You could go outside today, honey, and find a wad of cash outside of Target. All right? You don't need a bank account for that shit. That's putting a limitation on your mind. You've just limited the universe. So congratulations, you've just painted yourself into a corner. You know? You've given yourself one way of making money. And it happens to be a 9-to-5 that you fucking hate. Girl, it's a 9-to-5 that you hate. You come home, drink a 6-pack just to tolerate your family and go back and do it again. You're telling me that's the only way God can give you money? I don't think so. You have the freedom to choose before you're rich. You have the freedom to choose before you're in love. You have the freedom to choose right the fuck now to change your thought if you want to. The real question is, why are you not? Why are you not changing it? Is it because it's habitual? Is it comfortable? Sometimes I'll say it's kind of addicting to think of a lower thought. It's comfort. It really is. Because now you're going to be completely challenging everything that you have in your 3D. Because if all you see in your 3D is fighting with your girlfriend or boyfriend, and all of a sudden you go into your higher mind and you start seeing like you cuddling and snuggling and kissing each other and going on dates. And that's an uncomfortable thing for a lot of people right away. If all you've ever seen is fighting, then that is hella uncomfortable, right? But that's where the discipline comes in. You are the only one that is going to make that choice. You're the only one that chooses. Your boyfriend sure as shit ain't going to choose for you, honey, because by this point, they've been trained to fight you. They're not going to choose. Your bank account sure as shit ain't going to choose for you. You have the freedom to choose right now if you fucking want to. It's all about the present moment. We all should. You know, I had a very wise friend today tell me, I don't want to live in the past. I don't want to live in the future. All I have right now is the present moment. I'm not taking any of that shit with me. What are you bringing with you into the present moment, though? Because every time you think of a past event that sucked, you're pulling that memory into your present moment and creating a future for yourself of a sucky environment again. The only moment you have, the only currency you have is the present moment. The only everlasting life you have is the present here and now. That truly is it. The only thing you have as currency is heaven, which is the present moment. What thoughts are you taking with you from the past? And what worries from the future? Are you planting seeds within the present moment right now? Because that's what the fuck you're going to get. Period. That's it. End of story. I didn't make the rules. I didn't make the rules. You have a shit life. You want it to get better. Here's the way how. Here's the way out. Discipline your mind to get yourself out of a bind. Say it with me. Say it with me. Discipline your mind to get yourself out of a bind. Of course it's uncomfortable. You fought every single day for years. All of a sudden you're going to start seeing your boyfriend as super cuddly. Honey, sometimes that shit's weird. You wouldn't even know how to hold their hand at this point. Is it possible? Yes. Is it doable? Yes. But you have got to stay consistent in that new thought and that new imaginative act. Not in, oh, but he's like, he won't take out the trash because he's such a douchebag. Pull your head out of your ass and go get your dream man, hunty, because no one's going to do it but you. That's it. Don't bark orders at that guy, bitch and moan at him because he won't put the toilet seat down. Nah, bitch, you go into your own mind and you show him how to put the toilet seat down, and then boom, it happens every single day consistently from now until infinity. You do it the right way. You're shifting timelines to a version of him that already puts the toilet seat down. The fact that you even have a desire for him to put the toilet seat down is proof positive that it exists. It already exists. If you can see it in your imagination, that shit exists. Go into your head, tell him, thank you, honey. Oh my God, I love that you do. That's so crazy. I was just thinking maybe you'd love to start putting the toilet seat down, and look at you doing it. Go into your mind, find the success there. Stop barking orders at them at the 3D. This 3D version of them, I'm sorry, the douche canoe that you're sleeping next to, boo, they already exist. They are already real in that reality. That reality is a shit version of them, and it already exists. Stop focusing on that version of them. Just stop. Literally just stop. Only feed yourself the thoughts and the actions of what a good, kind man would do. And that's it. Stay in alignment with that. Thoughts and words create reality. God, you know how sexy you are? No, you probably don't know, but you are really hella sexy. Live and let live. I love your motto. I love your I love your lotto. Your motto is like winning the lotto. It's really great. I think you're insanely sexy, and I'd love for you to be my boyfriend. Would you like to like me? Circle yes or no. Would you like to talk to me today? Please circle yes or no. But yes, your thoughts and words create reality. Exactly. But we're not really creating reality. We're choosing a reality that's already been created by the creator. In manifestation terms, creation is finished, which means all realities that do exist, can exist, already exists. God created all of it in 7 days. Not, hey, linear time, nah. I don't believe in linear time in that way. God didn't, no. But what I do believe is the creator, whoever, whatever can formulate this, has already created every timeline that could ever exist. It is simply your choice as Christ, your choice as Jesus, your choice as the enlightened one, as the higher self, to simply select that version of creation that you want to live and live there consistently until you see that shit consistently in the 3D. You're getting to live heaven twice. That's really what it is. You're getting to see an imaginative act. Boom. That relieves a lot of pressure. That's beautiful. If you see you and your boyfriend making up and kissing and loving each other, boom. That's amazing. You just lived in heaven. See that shit consistently enough, and you will have that in the 3D physical world soon enough. Okay? So I love you, Lulu. You should stay to Lulu, girl, because I fucking love you. I love you. I love you guys so much. This is so fun. I'm having a great time getting to teach you guys what I know. And I look, there's a lot of really great coaches out there, right? Neville Goddard, he was a manifestation coach way ahead of his time. For real. He was so ahead of his time in like the 1920s, 1930s. And while I love that guy, and I absolutely think he knew a lot, he didn't know everything. He was limited too. He only taught from his experiences as well. You can't sit here and glorify any man or woman and be like, oh, they're the know-all. No. God is the know-all. You have one teacher, and that teacher is your higher self, the Holy Spirit, God, source, one teacher, right? And it really is you, the I am. You are the teacher. So though I love Neville Goddard, Sammy Ingram, same thing. Kimberly, I love her too. There's like so many manifestation coaches that I love and watch, and I love and honor and respect them. But I also know that this is from my personal arsenal of learning. Through a very shit 35 years on this planet, I am showing you how I have gotten myself out of some very toxic situations in ways that most people are like, well, how the fuck do you do that? Because I'm just good. Because I'm a goddess. But no, really, I know it's quite controversial, because I can't sit here taking your money with a clean conscience if I don't try to encourage you that boyfriend you want from the past, that, yeah, treated you poorly at one time, that's why you're not with him, boo, has changed. Convince yourself he's changed. I can sit here, accept your money, and paint a different picture for you, but it is your choice whether to believe that I'm blowing smoke up your ass or I'm actually serious and there's a different version entirely, right? It's all up to you. You pay somebody for a tarot reading, same thing. They can throw some cards and tell you a shit reality, but it's up to you if you believe it. So really, you guys, give your power back to yourself. You're the only one that can, all right? Nobody's special. She is living it. Oh, wait, what's this about? Somehow every time I join the lady stream, she's either screaming or running in a street or talking about a higher power. Oh, you guys can actually hear that notifications when they go off. Oh my gosh, I should put on Do Not Disturb. I'm so sorry about that. I had a timer, an alert that went off right now. You've got the choice to realize heaven. Exactly. I want to see you as your heavenly godly self because I think that guy is sexy as hell. And that guy deserves a lot of my loving. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? She is living it. Exactly. Talking about a higher power. I'm living it right now. I'm living in the present moment. Where are you? Where are you? It sounds like you're very much in the past, looking at a view of something you created in your reality. You manifested me at that level of a banshee idiot, screaming, just annoying. You created that version of me, and then you select that version constantly by talking about it and telling 20 people in here that that's the version you want to see. Girl, go see that fucking version. She's dead. I do like that Augustine is watching me in the other room, but I can hear myself in an echo, and it's so weird. Like I hear myself yelling. I'm like, girl, are you this loud? Maybe I am still that loud. Anyway, you see me the way that you want to see me. Everyone is manifesting at all times. So it's like, if I'm in your reality, you manifested me, Boo Bear. How am I showing up for you? It's probably a projection from within. I highly suggest getting that looked at, but whatever. You keep going back to the old Jenna and stay there. That's fine. I am moving on to bigger and better things, boo. And I got a lot of girls here with me who are doing the exact same thing. They choose to see the higher self of me, not some petulant 2-year-old. So they've moved on, and you should fucking grow up too, okay? Judgment is a mirror. Exactly. That's all it is. You were born again and will many times over. Lulu, girl, can you be my bestie, please? Because I've needed you in my life for like, forever. Please be my best friend. Thank you. I love you. And signing off. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for the prayers. I am safe. Of course I'm safe. I create this reality using my thoughts and my actions and my speech, right? This is the year we thrive. We got to stop looking at the 3D like it fucking owns us. Guys, this is not shit. We make the Matrix our bitch, not the other way around. Okay? Love you too. Have a great day. Oh, I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.